So for the remainder of our morning, just a few thoughts about the symbolism of the Lulav and Etrog, and then we will be going to our concluding prayers. So our additional offering today is just a few thoughts about this gorgeous symbol. So Mom happened to ask this morning, who is supposed to shake the Lulav and for how long? So it wasn't always this way. According to our Talmud, when the temple stood in Jerusalem, the Jews just used the Lulav and Etrog on the very first day. Like it sort of says in Leviticus, it's not totally clear, as is so much in the Torah, which gave rise to the oral tradition and tremendous innovation and creativity that we're still doing to this day. But the essence is that you're supposed to take these species, these 4 species, on the first day. And then on the 8th day is the solemn assembly. That's the Shmini Atzeret. That's next Shabbat this year. And by that time, we're not using the Lulav and Etrog anymore. And in the temple times, only the Kohanim, only the priests that served the temple, apparently used the Lulav and Etrog for the rest of the holiday. So the entire assembly was not shaking and waving the entire holiday. But once the temple was destroyed in 70 of the Common Era, the rabbis in subsequent generations and centuries decided that everyone should wave the Lulav and Etrog all 7 days as a remembrance of temple days. So though we've been doing it for a long time, it's one of those million instances where we always want to be careful to say, it's always been done this way, because for most things, it hasn't always. A midrash in Vayikra Rabbah, based on Leviticus, explains the items as symbols of the importance of unity among all of the different kinds of Jews, depending on their education and experience of observance. So the etrog, beautiful fruit, has both a flavor and a scent. Some people in our circle are very adept at taking the flavor and turning it into wonderful things. It has a flavor and a scent, and it has long been associated with Jewish folk who are both learned and observant of the commandments. To what degree? No judgment here. But not only study, but do. The lulav, the palm, has a taste, but no smell. And the rabbis likened it to a Jewish person who is learned, but doesn't actually do very much. So a studier, but not a doer. The myrtle, love the myrtle, has a pleasant odor, but apparently there's nothing tasty about it. And its parallel is a Jewish person who has book learning, but just a little, and is more of a doer rather than a studier. Maybe does a lot of things without actually taking a little extra time to kind of find out why it is that we do these things. At least according to, you'll get a lot of different answers, but someone who does, and that's wonderful, but maybe needs to, or would maybe benefit personally from a little extra study and maybe understanding a little more of why we do things. Finally, there's the willow. Kind of nice to look at, but it doesn't have either a smell or a taste. And it is like a Jewish person who doesn't study and doesn't do very much. I know. This isn't, but you know what? The rabbi said, we include everybody. Can't have this without one of the pieces. So even for the willow, there's a sense of not yet, but maybe. And it's a model of inclusion. The lulav and etrog have to be held together, because really only when the Jewish people welcome one another, no matter what their experience of education is, no matter what their comfort or knowledge of observance is, that's when we're all fit to merit this blessing. So that's a really old idea, and we do well to keep it in mind. Everyone needs to be invited, and everyone needs to feel welcome. whether you're a little learned, not at all, very, whether you do a little, medium, a lot, whether you're kind of like the Etrog. And even if you are like the Etrog, there's always more to do and to learn. So it's a becoming, and we hold them together. May all of our Jewish brothers and sisters all around the world embody something here, and may we move together as one to whatever will be coming tomorrow. May we meet it as one. In the same midrash, though, the rabbis use a quote from Psalms to kind of riff off the Lulav and Etrog. It says, "All my bones shall proclaim, O God, who can be likened to you?" And this metaphor for the Lulav and Etrog can also be the symbol of a body. A long, straight lulav has long been associated with the spine. The little myrtle leaves become the eyes. The willow leaves look like lips. And the etrog is equated with the heart. We have to hold all parts of the lulav and etrog together, because the blessing suggests the meaning of the metaphor. This is a secret ingredient, a set of pieces together. We have to feel unity within. We have to have our heart, our eyes, our lips, and our spine all working together to properly serve Adonai. We need to be true to ourselves, not saying one thing and doing another. So when we look at this Lulav and Etrog, we can see in it the unity of all Jewish people, and maybe of all people, period. Such a more universal world, small world that we live in. And maybe also think about maybe what parts of ourselves, heart, spine, eyes, lips, legs, what parts of ourselves can be more integrated with the rest of ourselves to be on the right and good path for blessing in this coming year. Chag Sameach.